Alright, Horror Hounds, and welcome to another episode of This Just In. Today we're going to be doing the follow up to House LLC with House LLC 2, the Abaddon Hotel. So, this one is another found footage, documentary type style that's given to you by the Win Media Group. Different group in charge from who was in the last one, but this one kind of follows the events of this girl who is kind of like a news break. They come in possession of some proof that Robert Tully, the owner of the Abaddon, who hung himself, was doing a bunch of satanic stuff and creating a cult. And that there's records in the hotel, and they are looking to get these records to prove that the hotel was doing, that Tully was doing satanic stuff, and that the town of Abaddon knows all about this, and they've been covering it up the whole time. So we bounce around between the news crew, which is two girls and a guy, and they end up convincing the person who survived from the documentary crew in the first one, Mitchell, to take them inside to get this proof. So we're seeing that storyline play along. We're also seeing a scene with the one girl who survives kind of talking to the police looking all beat up. And then we also see an interview that was going on where a girl on the morning news was interviewing Mitchell, a medium, and a guy who kind of works like a congressman for the town type of deal, where he's kind of crapping all over Mitchell's documentary and the crew coming in saying that it's all propaganda and that they're bringing unneeded, terrible attention to the town. And we do see some things where people had watched the documentary and then one person did a challenge, goes in, never heard from again. Guy goes in to shoot a YouTube video, weird things happen, his camera dies on his phone, never heard from again. Another guy who actually does disappear in the hotel, we do see some things where he was trying to get a hold of people, stuff like that. He was videotaping himself, and he's never heard from again. And a weird little touch that they did on that was they showed him when he was a kid on a home video in the mid 90s playing that same tune on the piano. Like we heard in the first movie, and when his mom asked him what he's doing, and he said the hotel's opening up again on October 8th, 2009, which is the exact day that House LLC had their big fiasco where everybody went into the basement and saw 15 people die. So they do tie some things together with the first movie, and they do set things up to go for the third movie in this one. It's a good story in this one. I do like the way it follows. It does jump around a little bit between all three things, but there's a reason for that. And that's because you have the news. The news story is, like I said, Mitchell telling people that they need to not go in the house. It's an evil place. He's not making this stuff up. You have the guy that works for the town completely disregarding everything he says, saying that he's just trying to up his DVD sales. That's all that he wants, is to make more and more money on this poor town. This town's had enough suffering. And then you get the medium guy in there who talks about some random stuff here and there. But once that had ended, Mitchell decided that he was not going to ever go in the hotel again. But once he talks to the two girls and the guy who are like a news break, they convince him that there is records down there and they can hopefully figure out what happened to Diane, the girl from the first one, who had disappeared, that he worked with. So he does agree to go in there, and then we follow that story. And the medium also joins him with his cameraman to go inside and see what happens. In this one, we do get the good score again, like I said. And pretty much a lot of the pros that are in the first one are in the second one, except for I do think the acting takes a drop in the second one. I don't think the acting is quite as good as it was in the first one. And I do like the fact that we do get um, characters from the first movie brought into the second movie. You got some returning people that are part of House LLC. You got Diane. You get some of the same people that were tormenting House LLC in the first movie. In this one, you get the clown back. He has more fantastic spots in this one, and they do kind of do a little recreation of one of the scares from the first one in this one. Overall, it is a very good movie. A lot of the same pros, like I said in the first one. I like the atmosphere that it builds. I like the tension that they build. In this one, they introduce that there's a giant cornfield behind it, and that they walk through the cornfield to sneak in the back because the cops now patrol the area because too many people were trying to sneak in to shoot their YouTube videos and things like that. So because they were trying to sneak in and people were disappearing and it was creating more buzz for the town that's not wanted, they do patrol it with the police. So they have to sneak in through the back during like a 10-minute window when there's a shift change. So I won't jump into too many spoilers on this one. I'll just say that the character of Andrew Tully is more prevalent in this movie. We do get to see him more, quite a bit more. You wouldn't have realized that in the beginning, but as the movie goes along, you'll see that he's in it a lot. And we get to kind of see the plan that he put in place where when he had originally done his stuff, he didn't kill himself and all of his people and close the hotel down. That was just considered a reopening for him. I guess I'll jump into some spoilers here, so warning ahead. In the end of the movie, we find out that the guy who was talking as the townsperson and shooting down Mitchell's stuff the whole time was actually Andrew Tully himself. The guy that was supposed to be there got into an accident. Coincidence? Not. It was all planned by Tully. Tully is a mastermind. So he was the one who convinced Alex that he could do the House LLC at the hotel. He wanted to have all those people in there so that he could open up what he refers to as a lake of fire, which is kind of like the portal between our world and hell. And people think that demons were banished to the lake of fire, but as he describes it, no. They bring the lake of fire here so they can collect more souls. And he can have more guests at his hotel. But everything is a set of dominoes that keep falling into place for stuff to continue happening. So, like in the documentary in the first one, they had Sarah drop off those tapes so they would be intrigued, get the story out there, and let people know what's happening. So then they knew people would be coming in to check the place out and they could get more people. But then when the cops were over patrolling it, they sent random mail to the newsbreak type crew, which made them think they could sneak in there and they could blow this whole case out wide open. And they knew that the best way to get in there was to get Mitchell. So he knew his best option was to get Mitchell back into the house and get him to stay this time. And he did all these things into events, including the fact that he's been sending all these tapes to Win Media Group, which is technically the documentary crew who's showing you the footage from this movie. And we don't actually meet anybody from that documentary crew at all. They're just taking clips from all this stuff and piecing it together, which is the film that we watch. So in the end, Tully is trying to bring everybody there, and then he's using this other group of people, sending them tapes to get more and more people to come for his Lake of Fire. Overall, this is still a very good movie. It's not as good as the first one. The first one was phenomenal, but this one's still right up there. I think it's a nice flow together. My overall rating on this movie, I'd give that one a 4.25. It's still a very entertaining movie, and the nice thing about these movies are they're an hour and a half. Quick, fast, easy, done, over. You're not investing 2.5 hours into a haunted house story. So the pacing kind of moves very fast, where it doesn't feel like you're watching a movie that long. Alright guys, if you're going to have you give me a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below if you've seen House LLC too, Or maybe you're waiting to hear what my thoughts are on House LLC 3 Lake of Fire. Hit the notification bell so you can see when the next one comes out. And don't forget, guys, rest in peace.